Hey friends, Kevin here, your Sacramento Stockton area realtor and lender, here with this week's weekly real estate report. Well, the big news this week is National Association of Realtors that was sued for $1.8 billion, that's billion with the B as in Bravo dollars, with damages going upwards to another $5 billion, is trying to settle out of court for $418 million. And as part of this settlement, they are telling the public that we are going to change the way we do business, realtors. I hate to include myself in the group with this one, but the big change is the way that buyers agents are compensated. Now, without getting into the weeds on this, because you're not here for that, I don't think, let me just say, what does this mean to you as a home buyer or home seller? Well, the way it has worked forever is that home sellers are, and I don't want to use the word required because this is exactly what the lawsuit is about, but let's just use it. Home sellers are kind of required to offer a commission to buyer's agents. The sellers have to pay for it. And if you don't, then other agents will not show your house to their clients. That's what this lawsuit is about. And what the big change is that sellers will no longer be asked to do that. That means that buyers are going to have to pay agents to represent them to purchase a home. So this could mean gigantic changes, or it could mean nothing, because this is just what N.A.R. is proposing. A judge has not signed off on this yet, so who knows what would happen. But here's what you need to know. Does this change anything for you, the home seller or home buyer currently? No. Absolutely nothing. Do I think that it will have any effect at all on home prices? Not at all. Case in point, you are a home seller. Your neighbor sold their house, which is exactly like yours, last month for, let's just say $600,000. I know we're going to get a home for $600,000 these days. They sold it for $600,000. New rule goes into effect. You are no longer required to pay the buyer's agents, which saves you 2.5%, 2% commission on that. So are you going to lower your house by 2%? Or are you going to look at your neighbor and say, they got 600, I'm asking 600? Well, I think if you're like most people, you're not going to discount the house by that price. You're going to ask the same that your neighbor got. So I don't see prices going down at all. I just see this becoming kind of a muddy mess for a little while. And then after about 6 months or so, everybody's going to figure everything out and it'll probably end up being kind of business as usual. I've sort of been through stuff like this before in the real estate industry. And yeah, it becomes a mess for a little while, a lot of speculation, a lot of panic in the industry. And then eventually it all just kind of works itself out. So the other thing that is really worth mentioning, if you are watching this story develop at all, or even remotely interested, one of the things that the news agencies talk a lot about is the 6% commission. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I've been in the industry for over 20 years now. I have never charged a 6% commission. And I don't know anybody, well, I shouldn't say I don't know anybody who does. I do know people who do, but 6% commission as being the standard has been gone for over 20 some years. If I had to, I have to be careful how I say this, the average person pays 5%. So if somebody says, hey, well, I'm going to give you a great discount and only charge you 5%, that includes their side and the buyer side, they're not giving you a discount. You're basically paying what the national average is, more or less. Actually, I believe the national average is 5.37 when it's all figured, because there are still a lot of people who don't know any better and are paying 6%. So if you are selling your house and you are looking at that commission, the fair and normal split is 2.5% to a listing agent and 2.5% to a buyer's agent. Now, there are some agents that will still do it for 5%, but they're going to keep a higher percentage for themselves, offer a lower percentage to the agent coming to look at your home, which is a bad move, tactically speaking, because buyer's agents, and I know them, they can see how much they are getting as a commission. Again, this is kind of what that lawsuit is about. And if there are two identical homes for sale, home number one is going to give them a 2% commission and home number two is going to give them a 2.5% commission. Which one do you think that agent is going to talk their clients into? Let's talk about the chart and see what's happening in real estate right now. All right, so looking over here, still, we continue to see the median list price just holding steady right there. Last week it was 636,400. This week 635,100. Let's call it the same, right? So our median list price is holding steady, but our median sold price, well, it was kind of even right here last week at I think it's about 550, somewhere around there. The corrected numbers came in at 545. So it went down a little bit, but the interesting thing here is that this week it went way up. So we end up with a corrected of 545 for last week. Now this week it's preliminary numbers, 576 going up for the median sales price. So again, interesting to see where that's going to go. Inventory is climbing nicely, as is pending sales. And notice that we do not have an inversion. We actually have more available homes than we do pending sales. I like to see it this way, not upside down like it is over here. Although, occasionally it does go upside down. But generally speaking, these two are kind of lockstep and very, very close to each other as they climb up. Rates, not good news this week at all. Last week, rates were at 6.75. We celebrated that because it came down from almost 7%. So it was almost 1/4% drop. But guess what? This week, they went back another 1/10. So we're at 6.87 this week. So, you got to take what you get there. So anyway, that's it. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And thanks for tuning in. I'll see you here next week. Take care. Bye.